Yeah, it seems to be that the players that watch more games tend to develop these scanning skills a little bit more. Um, and it's something we see a little bit more on the girls' side rather than the boys' side. That it's kind of more, you tend to see more guys watching games. Certainly in the GAA. I'm not sure what it's like in other sports.
Hmm.
When you're watching your sport from a kind of a bird's eye view rather than your first person view when you're playing it, I think you start to develop a better sense for what the spacing is like and patterns of play. One thing I can't remember who I was talking to about before, but one of the worst things that's happening is that the Sunday game or the match of the day type shows where all you see is clips.
Yeah.
You don't see patterns. You see goals and you see sendings off and you see contentious decisions, but you don't see the 30 seconds of build up play that got them to a certain point. And I think it's important for the development of kids that they're watching full games, not full games, you know what I mean, what they're
Yeah.
watching transitions of play.
Hmm.
I think that's definitely a starting point, and that's
Hmm.
where the kind of the video analysis stuff is coming back into it. Is when we were doing some clips last year, on any of the clips that I had to do, I purposely made them maybe 5 or 10 seconds longer than they needed to be, just so you kind of see how we led to this situation and what led out of it,
Okay.
rather than just the tackle or the missed tackle or whatever it might be. It's, this is how you got yourself in this situation and this is what happened as a consequence of it. And again, it's just trying to build a little bit more of a background understanding of the passages of play and all that. But with this one-to-one technical coaching that I'm doing with the Dublin Camogie at the moment, it's the first thing we cover in with everyone's sessions. And I have it here in front of me, so pardon me
No,
for
not at all.
referring to it. The first thing is it's a video. It's a Kevin De Bruyne video. Um, and it's become more kind of a famous video now, that it's a 10-second clip. I think it's like in the 10 seconds he's looked to different points on the pitch
Oh, I think I've seen that. Yeah. Yeah.
24 times, I think it is. And then he receives the ball without looking, passes it to space, and the ball's in the back of the net about 3 seconds later, you know. And it's this case of there's no way he knows where his teammate is, where the space is, and where the opponents are without those constant checking what's going on. So
Yeah.
we've got that video first to kind of set it up. I can send it on to you.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Twitter link. There's a Sky Sports article about Kevin De Bruyne and his scanning and his perception. And again, it's something for them to read to get a background on it.
Hmm.
But then when we're talking about actually coaching it, again, it's raising the awareness. So that's where the video comes from. That's where the article comes from. Highlighting others that use it successfully. So sometimes we'll see clips like that clip of Higgs, appreciating where the space was and moving to it
Yeah.
in an instant. And then it's trigger questions. So you need to give the player something to use.
Okay.
So the trigger questions we have, again, I'm reading them here. Where am I? Okay, so it's the first thing you need to figure out, where are you on the pitch? Where are the nearest players? All right, so that's opposition and teammates. Where's the space? Where's the ball? And where's the threat? And that might be a threat, a positive threat for us on their goal, or a negative threat on our own goal. And those are our trigger questions to start off with. If you're going to start trying to implement the scanning approach in your training games or in your preseason games, whatever the case may be, it's trying to get that information as often as possible.
Brilliant.
Where am I? Where are the nearest players? Where's the space? Where's the ball? Where's the threat? And it might not stick for months or years, but it's if you're
Yeah.
constantly looking for that information, you start building this kind of database of what works and what doesn't work in these situations. There's that book, it's either Sports Gene or Outliers. It's one of them. They're basically the antithesis of each other, and they talk about this study that was done on, I think they were volleyball players. I think they were Danish, but I can't remember exactly who they were. But they showed them freeze frames of a volleyball game, like freeze frames, and the ball was removed.
Wow.
And the higher level players were able to pinpoint with higher degree of accuracy where the ball is than the
Wow.
lower players. And again, it's just they're so much more used to looking at the game,
Yeah.
that when players are arranged in this situation and the body positions are in a certain way, the ball is there.
Yeah.
And I know that, think it must be outliers because it's a 10,000 hours type thing. The more you
spend.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know there's loads of contention over that 10,000 hours rule, but that was the general outcome of that study was the higher performing players had a better understanding of what was about to happen.
Okay.
So they were able to kind of ready themselves for it, whatever the case may be.